Hello everyone, it's Donna again at the Paper Cutters. Thanks for tuning into my channel. This is the next card kit that's going to be in my Etsy shop. I'm going to do a coloring tutorial using my colored pencils. And this is the card that will be in the kit. You'll also get in the kit not only the papers, and they will all be cut using all my dies and all of the different elements I've used to assemble this card. All will be in your kit. There's even papers on the inside that will also be in the kit. In this kit, along with the card, the papers, the cut out dies, and an envelope, you also will get the stamp as well, and the stamp is from Wild Rose Studio. This little mouse, and he is called Mouse on a Bauble. So that will also be in the kit. And so today we will color this little guy. I'll show you all the different colors that I used. He turned out great. I used a little Winkestella on his hat. You can kind of see the shimmer. Camera doesn't do it justice, but it has a lovely little shimmer. And on the little green dots on the ball, it also has Winkestella. So there's that. The dies that I used, which like I said, I'll have everything pre-cut for you. But this is the die set that I used. I love these new Dynamics by My Favorite Things. This is called Dynamics Blueprints 14. All the Blueprints dies come with so many different dies for cutting. This is the little outside edge, which is a little stitched square. Sorry for the glare. But yeah, you get all these different dies in here, and this is the Blueprints number 14. Not included in the kit, but you certainly can purchase this. Let me know. You can send me a message or email me if you want, Donna@thepapercutters.com, if you're interested in this die, and I can order it for you. You just have to pay for the cost of the die and shipping. Alright, so let's get started. This is the little guy again. Let's get him started. I have him pre-stamped. The paper that I use is Hammermill. And I also stamp in Memento ink, so if you don't do pencils and you use Copics, you can certainly color this safely with your Copics, because I did stamp using Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Let's zoom in just a little bit, and let's get started. I always start with my lightest colors first, so I think we'll start by coloring his ears. Okay, and to color his ears, also in your kit you'll get a list of all the pencils and all the colors that I'm using. You'll have a list of those. Plus you'll get a color photo with instructions on how to color him as well. So let's get started with the lightest color first of the pinks. I'm going to use the Deco Pink. I'm just going to color the inside of his ears. And on the video, I'm going to try to keep this a little shorter, so that it's not too long and hopefully not boring, but just so that it's not too long of a video. I'm trying to keep it under 10 minutes. If I happen to go past that, you may see some sped up versions of me coloring, which if that speeds it up a little bit and makes my time a little less, I would do that. So you may see that on the video. Don't know yet because I haven't started editing yet. Alright, so put your first coat of pink on and then blend it out. And I always start lightest colors first, only because if you don't, then when you touch it with something else, it's going to bleed over. And I think before I go any further, my trend that I seem to be doing these days is outlining the image. It makes it pop right off the page. So if you just go lightly around, and I really do just scribble. The option to this is scribble around the edges and then just blend it out if you don't like that edge on it. I kind of like that though, so I'm going to leave my edge on there. But just scribble around the whole thing. And again, this will probably be a section that I speed up. Just go all the way around. Just makes him not so flat on the page, which I really like that look. I've been doing that a lot lately. This one happens to be the 20% cool gray, but I do like to use the skylight blue for outlining, cloud blue. They're very nice. any lighter color. If you were doing like a light green or a yellow, that would look really nice too. Your choice. I'm merely here to suggest. All the way around, just like that. He's ready now. Now I'll finish his ears because, like I said, I started the pink with the lighter pink. Now I'm going to switch to the pink number 929. And this one is just for the little bit of darker areas on his inside of his ear. Just a little contrast to the light. And there's a little crease in his little ear. And then again, blend it out. Since I used the lighter pink, I'm not going to clean off my paper stump. I'm just going to leave what little bit of pink is on there and just continue to blend. Leaving it as dark as you want. And if you needed it darker, just go back over it again with a little bit more of the darker pink. Thinking he looks fine just like that. And now I'll move on to his little pads of his feet. I also did pink. Blend it out. Maybe add that darker pink in there since it's so very, very light. And then blend it out. Just like that. And then his color that I used for him was light umber. And that is number 941. He was a lot of fun to color, this little guy. And I love this light umber because once you blend it out, it looks kind of a goldeny haze around it. Not only is it like a brown color, but it has that little bit of gold. I want it to be a little darker in all his little creases. So I'm going to go a little heavier on my scribbling, because you can always drag that color up. This is a darker area under his little chin. And whenever you're coloring with wet red pencil, save that for the end because that is very pigmented and that definitely will bleed onto your other areas. So save the red for last. And then just blend that out. See, I'm just doing my little circles and pulling it into that white area. Hopefully you can see okay. And just do those little circles, keeping his lighter areas light. Just drag it so it gets that nice little variation to color. And then do his little ears. Okay, and I think before I go any further, I will also go around the white of his hat because I'm not going to blend that out. I'm just going to do that now. And again, you can blend that if you don't like that hard line. You can blend it, but at the end we're going to add some Wink Estella on there, so it really won't matter in the end. So once you do your first pass over, like I just did his little paw, there's not much white on there. So I'm going to go back and add just a little bit more down around the bottom. And then just, instead of blending quite so much, just pull a little bit of the color because you want it to mainly stay down there if you're adding your shadows. You don't want to blend it out too much, and that'll give you a nice light and dark contrast. Okay, going up to his ear and his little face. Do his face first. And on my little guy, kind of left his nose a little bit white. I didn't really color much around his little nose. I will add a little bit of color to this little fold that's probably behind his little nose. And I'll do a little shading, just a little bit, up under his hat. And again, I just blended his paw, but look at how solid that looks. So if I take just a little bit more of the brown, you can also pick a darker brown like the dark umber if you wanted to add a second color in there that's just a little darker, and then just barely blend that out. Gotta get this wet again. So when you get your kits for this little guy, you'll get your stamp in there and he'll be all the papers will be all cut and ready for assembling. Then you can come back to the video and we can color together. And then you can start it and stop it as you need to. Alright, that looks pretty good. Let's go on to his scarf. I'm using olive green, 911 is my color. I forgot his little arm right there. I was just taking a second to look at that. It's like, what did I forget to color? It's his little arm. I knew that wasn't part of the scarf, but I forgot his little arm right there. No biggie, just go in and I'll do it now. Okay, that looks better. Just blend that out. I also am trying out the new Spectrum Noir paper stumps. I just got these, a friend of mine gave this to me the other day, so I'm just trying it out. Thank you, Carla. They work really well. I used it the other day on something I was coloring, and I have to say they work really well. They hold the Gamsol really nice. They blend really good. So I'm leaving that little shimmer right in the center of his little scarf. And I'll apologize in advance if you should hear my air conditioner kick on. It's still 90 degrees here in Arizona, so it is getting still a little warm in the late afternoon. So if you hear my air kick on, my window is right outside the air conditioner, so you may hear that kick on in a minute. Still warm here in the desert. So there's that. Now we'll jump over and do his little hat. For his hat, I'm using Crimson Red, number 924. This is one of those colors that I was saying is so very, very pigmented. A little goes a long way with red. Be real careful in using your reds because it is very juicy. It just really moves once it gets wet. You can make it darker if you like it darker, but I like a little bit of the white showing, so I'm going to leave it just like that. Then his little present, I did the box red, so I'll add a little red there. Oops, I just was breaking my rule that I just told you to do your lighter colors first. Even though this green is kind of a dark green, I would do it first because it's going to get next to that red, and you could touch it and it's going to move it onto where you don't want it. Just like that. And just blend it out. It's a tiny little area. Again, if you need it darker in different spots, like this little thinner side, I think I'll just do a little darker. It's in the shadow area there. And just keep adding color to get it as dark as you want it. Then this little topper here, I did do the metallic gold color, so I think I'll do that now before I move on to the, oh, and the gold is metallic gold number 950. So just color that in a little bit, like that. And then I'm going to go to a real small, in that Spectrum Noir they came with little tiny ones, it's like 3 different sizes in that set. It was, had a lot of good choices in there for the sizes. So there's that. Now we'll do the red. Oh, I just realized I forgot his little tail. It's a very tiny little tail. Almost too small to color and try to do a light and darker blend on that. Now let's go ahead and go to the Christmas bulb. Makes sense that around his little bottom is going to be a darker red. And then just, like I said, the red goes a long way, so just scribble it around your areas. I think I'm going to quickly do my green dots because, again, if I touch it with the red, I'm going to regret it. And to color it, I like how it, you can just do the bottom half, a little dot here and there, and then just blend it out. Okay. Just keep blending these little dots. We're going to cover it with some Wink Estella too. So if it's not all the way colored, I think that's fine. I don't think it really matters. There we go. Now we'll finish our red. And you'll find when you're doing larger areas, I do still scribble my color on, but because it has to go so far out to the center, you can always go back and add more color. Just get it as far out as you can with a good blend, and then come back and add some more color. And I do the little scribble circles because when you blend it out, the lines are not so solid and perfectly scribbled on there. Sometimes it goes into the paper and you can't blend it out as good. The little scribbles definitely help, little circles like this, to get it blended out how you want it. And just keep adding your color. I'm going to go ahead and blend that now. Take your time too. Sometimes if you get in a big hurry, it doesn't want to pull the color. So definitely take your time, making sure that you get in there and get that color and kind of just move it into that whiter area. And if your stump gets dry, go ahead and get it wet again. It moves a lot easier when it's got a lot of liquid on there. And when you're doing a larger surface area, like this being red and it's so pigmented, on the tip of your stump, it gets a lot of the color on there and it gets very waxy. Go ahead and give it a light sand to get some of that off of there. Just real lightly, just to take some of it off. It'll help you to keep blending. And then get your stump wet again. Okay, so we've gone around once. I'm going to add a little bit more color. I'll start back here where it's a little darker and just a little softer touch on your scribbles around. I mean, we really do like a little white space on there, but that's quite a white space I've left so far. So you can always go back and add your color, however much you need. I'm going to stop there and see how that looks. I'll start the blending process and see what it looks like. I'm going to pull from behind first to make sure it doesn't look funny where you might see the lines where I added the color. And I think it's important just to not be in a hurry when you're trying to color and blend. Don't be in a hurry. It's going to get blended. You have time to go back and add more where you need to. And just keep going in a circle like that. I do have to add a little bit more. So I'm going to pull some color from back here. And you don't have to wait in between either for the OMS to dry, or Gamsol, whatever the brand is you're using. Just keep putting it on and blending it out. Okay, and I'm going to call him done. I think he looks pretty good. I think if you wanted to add a little of that gold to the little string right here, you don't even have to blend it out. Just a little on there. It's pretty tiny. And there you go. So that's him all done, and then you can go in with your Wink of Stella. This is the clear one. It has a brush tip on it, and you can go in and you can just add a little bit of shimmer on all those little areas that you want to sparkle, just like that. Just keep adding it until you get it how you want it. Just like that, and he's done. So he's ready to go on a card. And again, let me show you the finished card. Here he is, all done. And again, the kit will be available on my Etsy shop. I'll put a link at the bottom for you to go check it out if you want a kit. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you subscribe to my channel, like it, like me on Facebook, and come by again and see us again for another kit and a tutorial on how to color. Thanks for joining me. See you later. Thanks. Bye-bye.